Nah, Frank, I don't want to hear about this. And you don't want to hear me say I don't want to hear about this. You tell Rockefeller I don't care what he thinks. I drop a couple of honey mil on a project, I expect results and dividends, see? Or I get shirty, see? Yeah. Oh, I don't know, tell him to give it to the boys at Google or something. They got a nice evil biotech division. Oh, that's just something they say. Yeah, now do what I tell you or you're fired. Now use real fire this time. Yeah, you do that. Now beat it. I gotta talk about ponies. Well, where were we? Oh yeah, mailbag. Well, let's get on with it, shall we?
Yellow Fox Productions writes,
Let's do that. Talk about the little girl show. The brownies.
And I couldn't agree more. Damn bronies.
Infinite Dessous writes, Mortgage.
You... what? Mortgage? Number 1. Applejack mortgages the farm.
Applejack mortgages the farm. Applejack mortgages the farm.
Oh, go fondle a hedgehog.
K-Cat-Man writes, I cannot express how delighted I was to see this today.
Gee, I'd have thought anyone figure out how to express themselves, it'd be you, dude. Artix von Krieger asks, how did you get that book? What book? Ugh.
So, what did you think of the Season 2 finale? P.S. I hate my username, so call me LexiDoc83. By Awesome Girl Gamer 202 number 3.
Season 2 finale? What is this of which you speak?
Cuckoo Girl asks, could you review baby cakes?
No. Oh, right. Baby Cakes is an episode where Pinkie Pie learns the cost of responsibility.
For when she volunteers to watch Mr. and Mrs. Cakes bouncing brand newborn baby twins, Pinkie Pie'll learn that babysitting magical infants is a lot tougher than she ever thought it could be.
Derp-de-derp-de-doo. That's alright, I suppose. How much you like it'll probably depend on how into wacky baby hijinks you are.
I wiped your ass our entire childhood. Now it's your turn, buddy.
Well, you're the one that asked the wizard to make you young again.
I didn't mean this young!
That's not really why I watched the show, but it's alright. 5 out of 10? Oh, maybe I'm being mean. I mean, after all, this episode does have a really sweet ending. Plus, come to think of it, Pinkie Pie really does have to work hard to convince the Cakes to let her babysit their children. It's like they don't trust her with the twins. It's like they know that she's not all there, as has been previously established in other episodes. And you know what? Just for touching on my precious continuity, I'm going to award this episode a +1 modifier for a really ripping score of...
The episode that pissed me off more than any other episode in the series has to be the Baby Cakes episode. Know the Cutimark Crusaders? How Sweetie Belle can't use her magic and Scootaloo can't fly yet? We don't see any other fillies that age able to fly or use magic, and yet the Baby Cakes, with a completely impossible explanation of how they were unicorn and Pegasus twins coming from 2 Earth pony parents, managed advanced magic and flight at the age of 1 month? The fuck?
5 out of 10.
Elite Atheist says, for an episode that makes you go,
Dude, My Little Pony rocks, brah!
it would have to be the finale of Season 2.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Omega Chocoholic writes, Hurricane Fluttershy is a good episode. There's excellent character development.
True. For a decent story about overcoming one's childhood phobias, you really can't go past Hurricane Fluttershy.
Here comes the story of the...
In Equestria Sea, clouds are made by Pegasi, who churn water out of lakes and whatnot via an artificial air vortex made by hundreds of capable winged horses. Turns out Dashie's in charge this year, and it's her goal not just to get the job done, but to break records. She reckons she'll need the help of every Pegasus in Ponyville and begs her friend Fluttershy to help. Fluttershy can't, it seems, because in her youth the schooling system in Equestria is just as hellish as ours. But then she pulls a Rocky and holy sports training montage, Batman! She saves the day! They don't break any records due to there being a few sick horses dropping out, but Ponyville will have rain once more.
You know, I like this episode. It's plausible character development for Fluttershy, which is a good thing because, well, let's face it, Fluttershy is probably the least dynamic character in the whole show.
Think about it, her personality is heavy-handedly dumped on you from the start. Her distinguishing character trait isn't her flipping name, for Pete's sake. I mean, Rarity, for example, could and indeed has given up her finery from time to time, and she's still our Rarity. Twilight Sparkle could stop sparkling, and Pinkie Pie could stop being pink. Even Rainbow Dash could cease to dash and change her mane color and still be the same brash, hot-headed, supercilious, condescending, trash-talking gloat that we know and love.
And then there was a whole big episode where Applejack left the apple orchard,
And the main six made bones about how she's still there, AJ.
apples are just something she works with. You see, no other pony's name defines their personality to this degree. See, Fluttershy is Fluttershy. Will she ever star in her own episode that doesn't revolve around her overcoming her own name?
I'd kind of like to see that.
Wouldn't you? But until that golden day, episodes like this one will have to do.
That's okay, you know, it's a pretty good one.
In fact, the only thing I don't like about it is Spitfire. The captain of the Wonderbolts shows up to adjudicate on the off chance that Ponyville breaks the all-time water tower record.
But when several Pegasi turn up sick, far from setting any new benchmarks, it now looks as though they mightn't make it at all. Even with every other flying horse going full pelt, they just don't have the power! The quanta of contribution that saves the day must come from Fluttershy, as she's given to understand that her meager efforts alone are all that's needed to succeed once she finally conquers her demons.
Yay! She does it! Joy! What a great story. Except for Spitfire's just standing there the whole time.
What? So Fluttershy's minute muscles are all it takes it to makes it, but yet possibly the strongest flying horse in Ye Fair Land can't be bothered?
You ponies do want to get the job done, yeah? And don't give me that she recused herself or something. She doesn't know Fluttershy, and the contest is off.
She should be in the vortex helping, and then Fluttershy's contribution should be needed to save the day. Otherwise, as it stands now, it could have been done without Fluttershy the whole time. Spitfire's lack of intervention undermines the resolution to Fluttershy's story arc.
Oh no, it's good. That's great, yeah. It's a mistake! It has to be! I'm just gonna pretend this Spitfire person doesn't exist. I'll get back to you.
Kagura Meerkat says, please do my favorite episode, Sweet and Elite.
Oh gee, thanks Kagura. Your favorite episode, huh? No pressure, right? I'll think about it.
And in answer to the question, just look to the Apple family. The what?
If a pony's name is kind of like its cutie mark,
Okay. Did the parents get to choose the cutie mark? Got it. But what are you trying to say here? That the Apple family all have Apple and Apple product-related names just because they happen to live on and be inspired by an apple orchard?
And that precipitates the homologous development of so-themed cutie marks.
That perhaps somehow the great miasma of job opportunity influence itself?
Well, that makes a general kind of sense, I suppose.
But it mostly just makes me curious as to what some ponies do for a living. I'm not sure I want to know what Snail's parents are into.
it's one hell of a conspiracy theory. You see, the system is real fragile at the moment. The monarchy is about to collapse since it has a princess to rule over it, not a king nor a queen, and there are plenty of ponies that would love to change it into democracy. However, our good princess has many supporters. They use specially refined fairy dust to enable a parent to choose the cutie mark, it becoming similar to the name. Then they put some drugs in the drinking water to dull the senses. Thus the name becomes relatively what they see/do and such. And so no pony is born with a name like Rick Democracy, and the monarchy is preserved.
Of course! You've Rick Democracy? I'd kind of like to see that. Sweet! Now, I have received a lot of mail on this. Everything from the sublime and practical to the mystical and batty-botty bananas. And there's no consensus. But never fear, my dear bronies and affiliates. I'm here to help.
After wading ego-deep into the internet's bloated opinion hole, I have returned.
With a verdict. The best possible explanations can be boiled down to two. One, the official statement from Hasbro.
We at Hasbro very much wish to thank all our fans for their overwhelming interest and ongoing support for our shows. In answer to the question, we don't know. Nor do we really care. We just wanted to create a charming show for children that their parents could watch with them without wanting to stab themselves in the eye with a remote. But you people had to go get all obsessive and weird about it. Now we don't know what to do.
I mean, honestly, now we've got to please all these adult man-children with their nitpicky expectations and fetishes. It's enough to drive a person bombers.
And the far more palatable Fanon explanation.
In Equestria, your parents choose your name. Then you grow up to find your calling, which earns you a cutie mark.
If it sounds fly, you can change your name to the cutie mark. If not, you can keep your old name.
Just like Madame Balloon Bum here.
Vinny. Viddy. Vitchy.
Where was I?
Oh yeah, Anthony, you know what I'm gonna say, right? A Canterlot wedding!
Review it!
I should probably give you a bad episode too. Any of the CMC episodes? By Demon Pig Reviews.
Let me get this straight. You want me to review a Canterlot wedding and a bad episode? Right.
Oh, Old Scorchy writes,
Yes, can I help you?
I need a lock of your hair.
Shadowbow464 writes, I'm a bit unsure of the quality of the season finale. Really, do tell.
Psycho Bunny says, awesome TMNT poster in the background.
Thanks.
Michael Bay!
The knave from the grave, the goon from the tomb, the jagger of stagger, the rotting zombie! Asks, so is it worthwhile to watch this series?
What, a show about an obsessive-compulsive bookworm and her eccentric friends living in a beautiful Tolkien-esque uber-religious femtocracy?
What the, says a guy commenting, I looked up femtocracy on the dictionary website and there are no results. Is that an actual word?
No.
Otherwise I'd have to guess. Is it a form of government where a female acts as an absolute monarchy over the whole country and rules over it?
Yep.
Lazy to Threevil asks, how is it religious?
Good question. Look closely and you'll easily spot a few subtle overtones to faith-based themes throughout the series.
Dear Princess Celestia, I am happy to report that I now realize there are wonderful things in this world you just can't explain, but that doesn't necessarily make them any less true. It just means you have to choose to believe in them, and sometimes it takes a friend to show you the way.
Subtle. But the heart of all things truly religious in Equestria beats proudly within the ruler of heaven, or the monarch celestial. Princess Celestia is god of ponies.
I mean, think about it. She's the immortal, wise, ancient, yet ever young, merciful, and glorious creator of powers who sets the sun and the moon in the sky.
Add to that every time you hear someone substitute her name for the word God in common parlance.
Wait for me! Rainbow! Thanks, Celestia. There's no time to lose. Oh, thanks, Celestia, you're okay. But one of those bakers is mixing up something bad, so I'm not leaving you again, no matter what. Oh, Sweetie Belle, my one and only sister, what have I done? Woe is me. No, I must get her back. I must. And Celestia is my witness. I shall never be sisterless again. The incredible iron will turns doormats into dynamos. Assertiveness seminar today, Hedge Maze Center. As Celestia is my witness, I'm never gonna be a pushover again! You okay, Rainbow Dash? Anything I can do to help? No, nothing! In the name of Celestia, just sit there and do nothing.
In fact, I think Twilight's the only one who hasn't blasphemed her name yet, which makes sense.
No reason to disrespect Princess Celestia that way.
What with her proclivity for great power and loyalty to the princess, she's definitely the Saint Michael of the group. Hey, I'm not digging this out of my ear, you know. I did do some research. Shoddy, spurious research maybe, but still. I do get how some people aren't in love with this perspective and prefer to think of Celestia as something else, like a powerful wizard of the Dumbledore variety. Or I heard one really good argument wherein she's like a lesser god of a Greek pantheon. Which makes sense considering her kingdom's full of Pegasi, and, you know, that. But I suppose I prefer a monotheistic bent because, well, I guess I'm biased. But you see, this is precisely why an executive god like this is more interesting to me than any other god in either fact or fiction. Why? Because when you write a character with cosmic authority, not only everything they do, but also everything they allow to happen becomes immediately circumspect.
Dude, what?
When you put God in your story, it's all her way or the highway, eh? And how do you write that without it hurting the believability of the drama? Haha! Tricky, tricky. Sort of like how the best Q episodes of Star Trek are always the ones where he's in complete control. Yeah, look at him sitting there like the king of the universe. And all of the sad mulings of the pathetic mortals beneath him make him go like, oh, please. Like a total boss. He became indirectly responsible for getting people killed. And yet Q isn't a total antagonist. In fact, it's later revealed that Q is actually a champion of humanity, who actually ends up helping save the Federation from itself, and even ends up shepherding Picard to a higher state of maturity. So how do they juggle these two totally conflicting character traits? Ingenious writing! On the flip side, all the episodes where Q doesn't rule out loud are the ones we all like to kind of forget about.
I was good, wasn't I?
Very good.
And of course, all of this is perfectly applicable to Princess Celestia. Well, that's just the way I see it, I suppose. But hey, I'm not alone. Ever seen this? Yeah, Celestia. This is a meme based on the assumption that Princess Celestia is at least somewhat phenomenal, nearly cosmic, so everything that happens is her responsibility, which means if something bad happens to any pony, well, that's just our Celestia. And the more powerful she is, the funnier it gets.
These creatures are adorable. They're not that adorable.
Besides, Equestria is such a nice, heavenly place that, I mean, if you died and went to heaven and discovered that God took the form of an amazing winged unicorn creature who invited you to live in happiness in her beautiful pastel wonderland forever, would you be complaining? I think I'd be down with that. Tony Pony away! That's me as a My Little Pony character that... Shut up.
Is any of this why we watch the show?
Yes, no, maybe, I don't know. It's just a happy little fan-on thing for folks like me, I guess. Sort of like, Rainbow Dash. Now, when you first saw or heard of Rainbow Dash, what were your thoughts? What, the sporty tomboy with the Freedom Rainbow mullet? I know what I thought. Well, what were we supposed to assume? Well, according to the creator of the series, nothing. You were supposed to assume nothing. In fact, Lauren Faust would go on to say that she thinks it's extremely unfair that people automatically assume Rainbow Dash is gay based solely on the way she looks.
Does that mean she's not the gay one?
Absolutely not. See, no matter what Miss Faust says, the writers of the show know that there's a huge chunk of the fan base who are holding a little candle for Rainbow Dash's possible alternative lifestyle. Maybe because they think it's an entertaining character dynamic, or perhaps because they get some kind of counterculture kick out of it being so wrong for a kid's show. Or perhaps because out of this show filled with so many well-defined characters, they draw the most inspiration from the young filly who is more than happy just to be herself, precisely because she's different. You stay gay, pony girl. You'll probably never get it confirmed, but they'll never deny it. I mean, can you imagine? The day Rainbow Dash comes home with a boyfriend is the day half the brony hood packs up and shuffles home in disgust. I mean, you'd think they'd have gone mad, right? Well, something similar exists for Princess Celestia'S Divinity.
In fact, there's more evidence of the princess's godhood than there is anything on Rainbow Dash's sexuality.
And it's a good thing, because here in this heavenly wonderland where these angelic beauties live and learn,
God herself walks among them, showering upon them grace, wisdom, and plenty, and loving them all equally, including her most trusted main six, one of whom is Rainbow Dash.
The gay one!
God loves the gay one. Damn. Gets you from the left, gets you from the right, carefully gathers up everything you thought you knew about the world and smothers it in love. Damn. But that's just my opinion. And you know what, I'm cool with it if it's never confirmed. But just like Rainbow Dash, just so long as they don't do anything to break it by somehow denying that Princess Celestia is... Oh, thundering frig!
I need a lock of your hair. A slice of your pie. The lucky last digits of your social security number. I'm down to the last two. I know I said I'd stay away from Professor Whiskers. Only this time I promised to send him back in one piece.